What's up, guys? Mitch from RespectRegion.com here with another episode of the Digital Trapper Institute, DTI, free community college program. I probably shouldn't say community college. I might catch a legal suit for that. But we're putting on free classes, courses, education, tips, tricks for digital marketers out there in the cannabis and music space. Well, today's episode is on 8 tips or 8 tools for cannabis dispensary marketers. A lot of these tools are still relevant if you're in the music space. So sometimes I might try and appease both crowds. Sometimes I might speak specifically to one or the other. But regardless, whether you're pushing an art form, a music, a brand, a dispensary, a lot of the concepts, mindsets, and tools are relevant cross industry. So today we have 8 tools. There are many tools that can be useful for the market, the digital marketer in today's world. There's a lot of hats you have to wear. There's a lot of platforms you need to use. There's a lot of tools you have to use to manage all these platforms. And there's tools on tools. There's tools that make tools easier. It gets confusing out there. You know, I always say marketing goes wide and deep. If you look at the lane of marketing, you have like tech guys who understand maybe code or design or building, programming. There's a lot of things involved on that side. And then there's the creative where you have video, photo, graphic design, illustrators, a whole vertical there. There's another vertical of like advertising, people that do advertising buys, let alone budgets, targeting, demographics, personas. And then you have writing, copywriting, which can be different than creative. There's a lot of people that are visually creative and terrible at writing, or editing. So there's all these different verticals or hats that a marketer needs to wear, if you will. It is very rare that you are going to have an individual that is even like a 60% at in any or many of these platforms, maybe more than one. There's a lot of people that crush it at photo, crush it at video, or a killer copywriter, but can't, there's a copywriter who can't do photo, or photo can't do copywriter, right? There's so many different hats you need to wear, and to excel at any one lane is very unlikely that you excel in one lane and can excel at multiple lanes. It's like different parts of these creative aspects or practices, if you will, activate different sides of the brain. So, unless you got like someone, Captain Planet out there putting all the rings together, all these different people, there's very rarely do you have one brain or one individual that can do that. Rock, I see the comment. What's up, my guy? I know you know a lot about content and marketing in the music realm, my G. Been out there putting it on, building platforms. So anyways, back to this topic. So marketers, there's a lot of hats you need to wear, a lot of things you need to do. Certain tools can make it easier for people to pass in certain lanes that they might not be as strong in or work within these different verticals. So we're going to go over 8 different tools. I'm going to highlight through them real quick, the list, and then we'll break out and explain each one separately. So one of these is Google Trends. It's a free web and analysis tool. You can look at trends, what's trending on the internet via Google, the biggest search engine in the world. People go there literally all day, every day, and type in questions, seeking information, education, directions. So the data that they have is powerful, and you can use the free tool Trends to find out a lot of different things that'll go into marketing. We'll get into that. Another tool to dive in deeper on analytics, jeez Louise, SEMrush, or you could use another SEO tool like that to find keywords. Then moving on to number 3, newsletter platform Klaviyo. Moving on to number 4, project management Asana. Number 5, Freshsales, which is a CRM. Number 6, CapCut, which is a video editor. Number 7 is Buffer, which is a social media schedule. And number 8 is Canva, a graphic design platform. So starting at the top, we're going to start right at the top of the list, Google Trends. It's a great way to look at what is trending on Google. Like I was saying just a second ago, you can look at things based on location, as far as country, state, greater metro area, and you can look at what are the top trends in there. And you can also search different keywords and see the search volume and frequency around some of these terms. So you can just go on there, and basically it's pretty hyper relevant, so you can understand what people are searching. If you are, a cannabis company, you can go on there and search, just for example, cannabis dispensary versus weed dispensary versus marijuana dispensary versus pot shop. You can look at all the different names of what someone would describe a dispensary business and look for your specific state or city or metro area and see the actual search volume of those for free. So it's a great way to see, how am I going to optimize my Google My Business? How am I going to optimize my website? Maybe I'm thinking of a dispensary brand name and I want to, creatively insert a strategic keyword into the actual name or byline of the dispensary. You can figure out which one works best for you. And what's crazy about this is regionally things change. Pot Shop in Seattle, near where I live specifically, is actually used quite a bit. Myself, and my day-to-day life, I do not hear that, I do not read that, I do not see that or hear that keyword very often in the demographic of people I hang out with. I tend to have an assumption of what demographic it is, but a keyword like pot shop can have a great search volume in specific areas, and not a lot of people go for that. They all rank for cannabis or dispensary, dispensary being the best keyword out of that. But anyways, using Google Trends, you can look at which keyword is the best by search volume. And one of the biggest things in cannabis or the cannabis industry is you constantly hear in the echo chamber, we need to call it cannabis because this, and I get there's some racist connotations with the word marijuana, and there's a couple different words out there that people might not like. But when you're leveraging the tools such as Google, you need to meet the searcher where they're searching. You cannot say, we want this uppity blah 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 cannabis to be presented as such in an MBA format for the sophisticated new individual. If there is not enough of those sophisticated individuals searching into Google, however you optimize your page or whatever you care about keywords you rank for does not matter. You need to understand what are consumers searching in your area to find the business or products that you provide, and you need to create content that answers the questions that they're putting into Google or ranks around the keywords that people are searching. Point blank, period. The point of sales is a business is to make sales. The point of leveraging the internet is to capture traffic. So Google Trends is a great free tool. It's fairly intuitive. YouTube University out there, you can learn how to use it pretty quickly. But even if you don't want to get into the next tool we're going to talk about or understand SEO or even Google Analytics or Search Console at a high level, Trends is fairly easy and it's completely free. Honestly, just Google Trends, click on it, you can get to the link. Moving into number 2, if you have an SEO agency or you have someone on your team that is savvy at SEO, not all dispensaries, again, when we're talking about the start of this, a lot of dispensaries can only hire one marketing person, maybe 2. They usually are going to need someone that does website, graphics, photos, so many different things at once. They're probably going to be like a 30 to 50%. Some of those maybe is 60 to 80% on the higher end, depending on the salary. So maybe they know SEO, maybe not. SEMrush is a little bit more difficult. I self-taught myself it, did use a couple mentors, but I've been pretty savvy and have a lot of hands-on experience with the internet, so I understand a lot of the concepts already. But SEMrush is a little bit more advanced. For the person who's unaware, not too savvy of SEO, or maybe they know a little bit, have never used it, doing a couple hour walkthroughs with their team and a couple hours on YouTube University should give you a fair amount of understanding of how to use the tool. SEMrush is, depending on the platform, we're just talking about Google Trends, which is free. SEMrush is, man, I know it's a couple $100s for the account we have. I know there's some cheaper ones available, but I know it's probably around 60 for maybe the basic a month to, I think we pay like maybe 200 and some change. I don't know. We use it for quite a few different clients and accounts, so we probably have more than what you would need if you're a single dispensary chain. But SEMrush is a super powerful tools. There's also Afference and then Moz. A couple other platforms out there have similar stuff. I just like SEMrush, so this applies to, you could pick and choose what you like. But basically, SEMrush is what we're talking about on Google Trends, of identifying what people are searching, what the trends are on those, what the volume is. SEMrush does these same things, but a little bit deeper. And you can also look at competitors. So you can type in your website, and as a dispensary, you can put in your website and then other dispensaries that are in your market. Or if you have some dispensaries who you're like, wow, these guys, I know maybe they're not in our local market, but they crush it. You can rank yourself against them and see what keywords you both rank for, where you each rank for them. You can see what untapped keywords have not been used by both of you, or what keywords other people are ranking for and you're not. It's a great great tool to really understand. And then with that, right, not only identifying the keywords, it will also tell you the monthly search volume, which is a great thing to know, as well as the competition of that, how difficult, it has an algorithm of how difficult it will take to rank well for that. And then also you can, within the platform, you can understand what the search query is. It labels each search query as, is someone looking for education? Are they looking for a conversion to a shopping experience? Are they looking for information or awareness? So you can kind of see the volume of each search query, or each keyword or search query. You can look at the volume of it, the difficulty to rank for it, as well as kind of the intent behind the person behind it, which I think is not talked enough about in SEO, specifically in cannabis retail. When optimizing for keywords on websites, not enough people look at intent. They simply look at data and are like, well, this would be great to rank for because a lot of people rate it. But again, if somebody's looking at CPG for CBN, or maybe or CBG versus CBN, maybe they're looking to purchase, but not as much. But if someone's like, Stizzy Pods near me in Farmersville, California, that likely has a search intent. If you rank for that, a lot of people that are searching for that are likely looking to purchase right away, as like CBN versus CBG. Somebody searching for that is probably just looking for education, reading, who knows what city they're in. So anyways, I think intent is an important thing to know with with keywords, and SEMrush makes that easy. And also within SEMrush, you can open up and preview exactly. You say, hey, this is a keyword, this is where my competitor ranks. You don't even have to go search it. You can open it right there. It shows you what that page of search results look like, so you can see how they optimize their meta description and title. It's a great tool to just understand, not only better your SEO, but look at your competitors and really look to crush the landscape. As someone that's been doing cannabis content in the recreational market since 2016, I will say that every year it gets increasingly more competitive, increasingly more difficult. Once somebody grabs a spot on search results, it's going to take, in my opinion, takes more time, effort, and money. Not necessarily paying Google for that placement, but paying time and money into having better content to outrank that. It's much like real estate. Someone owns real estate first, it's most likely going to sell for more in the future rather than less than they bought it. Digital real estate is the same thing. If you start grabbing up search results now while competition is less, it'll be much harder and more expensive for people to take it from you in the future. It's just digital real estate. So anyways, we could talk more and more about SEMrush, but it's a great tool. Moving on to number 3, newsletter platform. I see this on LinkedIn all the time. People are always looking for recommendations, what tools to use. Mailchimp is obviously the popular one. There's a free one. I can't remember if it's 1,000 or 2,000 subscribers. If you're under that and you don't want to schedule, you just want to go on there and manually hit send bulk to that list, Mailchimp is a free tool. That's why it's popular. And it's kind of just it's the standard when we're talking about newsletters platforms, but they're not cannabis friendly. I know a ton of people have had their Mailchimps taken down due to just being a cannabis company or cannabis content. We at Respect My Region use Mailchimp. I know I probably shouldn't, but I've been using it for a lot. Before we were doing cannabis content, we were doing music and e-com clothing company for a while. So we've just been using Mailchimp for a long time. And, again, I'm knocking on wood if you don't hear that. We've had no issues, but I do know there are issues. So I'm not even going to highlight the tool that we use. The tool that I would recommend for newsletters is Klaviyo. They are cannabis friendly. They will not shut you down. It's just as intuitive, potentially even nicer than Mailchimp. There's some smart aspects to the segmenting and audience, which is super key, especially if you're a dispensary. Like we're a media platform, so I really send a general newsletter and then might send things regionally or based on interest, based on if someone's a consumer industry. But if you're a retailer, it's nice to have segments based on, is this a customer ordered, if you have deliveries, is this an in-store shopper, a delivery shopper, a little bit of both, like a mixed shopper? Are they a pre-roll consumer, a blunt consumer, a monthly, a daily, a weekly? What level of consumer they are? Those are all powerful things to segment your newsletter list so you can send specific messages to each demographic. That way it's just the only people opening that email are going to have a high likelihood to click, engage, and take action on it. There's no need, if you have 10,000 people subscribe to your newsletter, there's no need to send the pre-roll to everyone. You should send that to the only, if people don't buy pre-rolls, exclude them from that list, etc. Klaviyo has a lot of really nice, Mailchimp has it too, but Klaviyo I feel like nerds out a little bit deeper on audience segmenting, which is super super crucial and can just really increase your ROI and better tailor your consumer experience. If I'm getting email blast or SMS blast from a company I purchase on products I actually purchase, whether it's telling me it's back in stock, further education, making me aware of a new drop, various things, it's the more tailored it is to me, the better experience I have as a consumer. So this audience segmenting is better for the business, better for the consumer all around. Moving on to tool number 4, Asana. It's project management. There's Monday.com. There's Trello. There's, I don't even know. There's a list of them. I've tried a lot of them. I've tried and failed to upkeep a lot of them. I'm one of those people. I hate, hate learning new things. I think that's a lot of us building any sort of new habit or learning a new tool is incredibly difficult. Um, and for me, cumbersome, tiresome. It takes so long to get to where you learn the tool, that I don't know. It takes a while to build that habit. I usually fall off. But anyways, Asana is the one for me. I like the most. Some of our clients use Monday and some other ones that I've dabbled in for client perspective. But for myself and our organization, we use Asana. Great project management software or system. It's relatively cheap. It's like 20 to 40 bucks a month, and then you can invite people as guests and not a user. I don't know how much that's a cheat code out there, but a way to just save yourself some money. I mean, is a business, if you're making a ton of money and you can use it the right way, pay it, do it the right way. But for a lot of us bootstrapping or startups out there, we're talking about 8 platforms. If we're paying for all of these monthly, and how much are we actually leveraging them, it's difficult and it gets expensive. So I'm trying to highlight stuff that is nice and feasible for the startups, the smaller companies, or people just trying to figure out. And the best thing about figuring this stuff out at low cost, if you like it, then go spend the bread. Like a couple of the tools that we spend, we spend a couple $100 a month, upwards to close to 1,000 on them. But it's because we probably started on a free trial or started on a lower one, realized how valuable it was, and then have no problem cutting a couple $100 check every month because we know we're going to get ROI on that. But until you know ROI, and again, build that habit, which might take a couple months to start and fall off and start and fall off, it's nice to have some free or low cost things so you don't feel the pressure to just fully, dive in. Well, some people might say the pressure, but anyways, Asana project management, super nice to organize tasks, assign tasks, build out calendars, just organize what you have going on. You can build automation and workflows once you have systemized and scalable aspects. Like, hey, if we have a sale on every Friday, you can build an automated workflow that sends your graphic designer, hey, we need this, or keys up a reminder for graphics, and then keys up for copy, and then keys up for proofing, and then deployment, and have a system built. So every Friday you just kind of go along and it follows you automated rather than having to manually clunk through everything. Just like building that checklist. Anyone that's worked, a low level retail job or in like fast food, that checklist, that board, you hate it, but it's nice at the end of the night, wash dishes, put away, check everything off. Make sure you go through it. Oh man, I did forget that, even though I do this every day. Have that nice checklist. After a while, maybe you don't need it, or it becomes way quicker, but that checklist is crucial. Asana is just making that in a digital way, and builds automations and workflows to just make stuff easier. And it just helps team communication in this 2022 and beyond. Remote only or big remote teams, having over communication is so crucial. So Asana is something we put there. Moving on to the next thing, CRM. Freshsales is something that we've used. There's a bunch of other ones. HubSpot, in the cannabis specifically, Philo has one. There's a lot of different CRM options out there. For sales, they're a great way to track outreach on the cannabis retail side. While you're like, why would I need a CRM? It's great to just track vendors. Honestly, you can do this in an Asana or something, but if Freshsales has an email communication built into it, HubSpot has some aspects actually that are like Asana and Freshsales together. I don't know why I haven't had as much luck getting down with HubSpot. I've messed around with it, so I prefer separately. But anyways, as a cannabis dispensary, having a CRM can be nice to just keep in touch with vendors and organize, right? And you can rank them, categorize, tag them. And obviously the buyer is speaking to the brands, or the brands are beating down the door for the buyer to re-up and buy more and buy more. But from a marketing standpoint, cross collaborative or cross collaborative marketing between brands and retail is a great way to be effective and amplify messaging and lower cost. Working together, rising tides raises all ships, whatever that cliche, right? But having, on a marketing standpoint, if you can have an easy place where you go see all your brands and categorize, so you can kind of communicate with them or build an automated workflow, see the messages, see the tagging. Hey, I want to work with all the brands this week, or I'm trying to figure out who can do some promo products with us, or who wants to do some collaborative advertising, who wants to go 50% on a billboard or text message campaign, whatever. It's nice to have one place where it's all organized. You can communicate, see communications, and classify. Hey, I only want to look at brands. I've tagged all these brands as the ones that I have a relationship with them, or they have a marketing team, or they play ball when it comes to this collaborative marketing. So you can just filter through and look at all of them, and then maybe have your broader list where you just send to everyone. So CRM, we tend to think just the value in a sales format as from a brand, maybe looking for sales, but I do believe there is value in you leveraging it and having organization and just communication outreach between brands for cross collaborative marketing. Man, I said that word so many times, I probably messed it up each time. Next tool, CapCut, video editor. In this day and age, video editing, videography is very expensive. And I got a lot of friends that do video. We do video. We have some guys that we contract out that do video. I love all you guys. But video is expensive and difficult. For your average dispensary, if this marketing person we were talking about earlier doesn't wear, all the hats they wear, video isn't necessarily one of them, or one of their strong suits, it's going to be difficult to put out quality video. But thankfully, in 2022, everybody is watching videos on these. And the majority of, well, look at all those notifications. And the majority of people that are consuming content on a cell phone are also consuming content that was created on a cell phone. People spend a crazy amount of time watching Instagram and TikTok. They're just consuming content made on a cell phone for a cell phone all day. So in this day and age, you don't need to hire a videographer. It's still great if you're going to have a beautiful tour or showcasing your dispensary on your website. Yes, hire a great videographer, get super nice cinematic 4K shots. You're going to look at advertisement on TV or whatever. There's plenty of formats to hire a videographer. But in the day and age of just an overwhelmingly amount of content being kind of the standard and speed really mattering, being able to film video content on a cell phone can be done by just about anyone. Even if you don't have crazy video editing skills or video shooting skills, these new iPhones, they shoot 4K. It's pretty incredible. So if you figure out the right format that fits in that format that's digestible on a cell phone, you can film it on a cell phone. You can buy a couple little adapters and external mic if you want to do audio and get, honestly, studio quality recordings for really just like a couple $100 extra, and plug it straight into the iPhone. So you don't even need to record the audio here, video there, and edit it. You can just make it super easy, and then dump this stuff into CapCut. And it's a platform. There's a free version or a cheap paid version, but it's a super power video editing software that you can use on your cell phone. You can film something on your cell phone, edit it on your cell phone, upload it off your cell phone all in once. That way your video person, even if you're marketing person, you could have them spend 45 minutes a day, 5 days a week, and you could put up at least 5 videos. You could even probably do more in those 45 minutes once you get SOPs and the cadence down right, or spend some more time. But you could crush video. And a big, huge extra bonus tip on video is, if you upload videos to YouTube, they are discoverable by Google. YouTube is, I believe, the second biggest search engine in the world. YouTube is owned by Google. Therefore, YouTube has value on the biggest search engine in the world via Google. So back to what we were talking about, some of those keywords you identify in number one on Google Trends or number two on SEMrush, you can build videos around really easily in your local area on the brands, the products you carry, or the keywords around your dispensary, and put those up on YouTube and build a page on your website, link back and forth between them, and boost up on organic rates without having to go hire a videographer and pay $10,000 and wait 3 months for a final edit. You could just grab your cell phone, go shoot and edit it, upload all in the same day using CapCut. It's incredibly powerful, and we implore every cannabis dispensary to use YouTube. I don't know why you guys are so fascinated with Instagram. I get it. Brands have been built on there. That's where the people are at. But Instagram does not want cannabis businesses. I repeat, Instagram does not want cannabis businesses. YouTube, you can make a lot of stuff and it's cool there, and it has search slash SEO value. Instagram doesn't really have that because the hashtags are shadow banned anyways. So maybe you can get some location hashtag discoverability, but we all know the likelihood of being shadow banned and then the further likelihood of being deleted on Instagram is so high. So put your videos on YouTube. Even if you still cannot let go of that bad bitch who doesn't like you Instagram, you can still upload your videos there, but put them on YouTube. CapCut, you can film it on a cell phone, edit it on a cell phone, put it up from the cell phone on YouTube and Instagram all in one day. Super easy. It's a tool you should know. Another tool is Buffer. There's a couple other, I know there's like, I think HubSpot has a tool as well. What was the other? Hootsuite was one that we used to use back in the day. We just like Buffer, whatever floats your boat, but it's a social media schedule. They do scheduler. They do have a free version. I know we use the paid version, but you can link multiple social media accounts and schedule out your content. It is super crucial to have content going out every day. And if you're really about it multiple times a day, it's very difficult to be in the middle of your day and be like, oh, I got to get my Facebook post up. Oh, I got to get my Instagram post up. If it's live, if it's in the moment, if you have to film the video that day, that's great. But there is a ton of content that can be scheduled out. And guess what? You shouldn't just post content once. The same content you posted, a lot of the content you posted last week could be posted again this week or the following week, last month, even last year. If you've been creating content at any sort of consistent cadence or pace over the last year, you can go right now and schedule a shit ton of that out over the next couple weeks or month and have content going that'll allow you to still put stuff up in real time or day to day, but always be feeding the beast. You got to stay consistent with content deployment. A lot of words there I'm struggling with. Buffer is one of those ones we use. Again, you can schedule content at Facebook. I believe they have the Instagram tool as of a couple years ago, Twitter, LinkedIn. You can schedule everything across all these platforms from one thing. Super nice. And you can build you a nice little calendar so you can look and see what all you have going. Last tool to round it out. This is something we were using early on. It's not a secret anymore. It's pretty widely used. Canva, graphic design platform. Again, earlier on, I was talking about ways to replace your videographer. I'm not ever trying to replace anyone. The videographers you guys hold, a lot of my friends are professional videographers. You guys are great. I still use them for a lot. We still get hired for a lot of that, but I still am on here imploring people to do stuff for free that they could hire us to do or do in-house, just because I believe you should be doing content. Whether you hire someone like our agency or work with someone like us or another agency, you should be doing content. I don't care if you hire it. I don't care if you do it in-house. I don't care if you do interns. I just care, and it gets stoked when people do content. I get more excited than Money in the Bank sometimes, probably to our detriment. But Canva is a way not to replace the graphic designers, but again, back to all these hats that a dispensary marketer has to wear. Graphics, they may be strong in graphics or they may not. Me personally, I'm not. I've had marketing jobs in the past that all marketing jobs are going to require some form of graphics, whether it's business cards, flyers, social media posts, posters. Any marketing role is going to require some form of graphics. I am a marketer. I am not great with graphics. I first found Canva so I could make examples of what I wanted to send my graphic designer. So I didn't have to pay my graphic designer, here's super vague idea written on paper, translate it to something graphically. and go back 3 to 5 iterations before we even get close to what I want. And then we start doing revisions from there. Now I can make something, at least remotely, some sort of sketch, because you don't want to see my sketch on paper. Make a sketch in Canva that's remotely close to what I want, send it to a graphic designer as an example. They can take that, and then we usually only have to do 1 to 2 revisions from there. It's saved me a lot of money and a lot of time being able to use this tool, even on stuff that I don't even make on Canva to be the finalized version that I put out in the world. Simply just moving as a sketch pad to work with graphic designers has been immensely valuable. And in the process of doing so, ooh, voice crack. In the process of doing so, I've been able to make a couple graphics, whether it's business cards or flyers, where I didn't need to hire a graphic designer. Even not knowing how to do graphics, Canva was super great. There's great templates on there. You'll notice it's funny once you start moving on there, you see just so many businesses, chiropractors, dispensaries, whatever. So many businesses use Canva templates. Shout out you guys, man, leveraging that tool. There is a great free version available. The paid version is like 10 or 12 bucks a month. Unlocks a couple things, definitely worth paid for. You can upload your own logos and brand kit in there and just build stuff out. I'm like a copy and paste person. I usually build stuff in there and then just make a copy of it and then work from that. I have so many copies of so many different things rather than starting from scratch. But it's just a great free tool to leverage for any marketer. Again, if you're not super savvy with Photoshop and Illustrator and making dope graphics out the gate, you can get on Canva and probably make some passable stuff. I will hit it with the disclaimer. There are sometimes if you're not a big graphics person and you're using a tool like this, you may make an attempt and then end up being like, you know what? I spent maybe 30, 45 minutes on this. I could spend 3 more hours on this and I won't get it there. I'm going to just cut my losses. I'm going to pay an external graphics person to produce this, taking kind of what I already built as a template. So Canva is a great thing to enable people to make graphics on their own if they're not graphic savvy, or at least make mock-ups to get to designers and just speed up that process. So these were 8 tips or 8 tools, if you will, that cannabis dispensary marketers should leverage. Some of them were free. Some of them have free versions. Some of them are low cost. Some of them cost a little bit more. They're great tools that we believe anyone could use. We use them, our clients use them, or use some variation of them, and even more. But these are just great tools. Again, marketers have to wear so many different hats. We're trying to make your guys' lives easier out there, and that's what tools are for. This is another episode 3 of the DTI Digital Chapter Institute. We're just putting out some information game on marketing in today's day and age. If you guys have any questions, specific topics you'd like to see in the future, please feel free to tap in, shoot us an email, shoot us a DM, shoot us a comment, send a carrier pigeon, RMR signal in the sky, whatever you need, let us know. We'd love to go in depth. If you guys need links or any further questions on any stuff we talked about today, please feel free to reach out to me directly. My name is Mitch Pfeifer with Respect My Region. Mitch at respectmyregion.com is my email, or find me on LinkedIn, Mitch Pfeifer. I'm wearing a hat just like this, but I think it's red or something. Anyways, hope to talk to you guys soon. We'll be back Thursday with another episode of DTI, and we got a couple podcasts coming up today, so I'll be on the stream later today.